Bills and Packers had a good game here on this Sunday night. We had some crazy action all over the NFL today. Game 3 of the World Series starts on Monday night, and the series is tied 1-1. I'll give you my reactions on what I think so far. In the world of college football, Ohio State and Penn State play tough. And, of course, Syracuse can't beat Notre Dame for them to save themselves. The NASCAR Cup Series is at Martinsville, and the Championship 4 is now set. I will have that all tonight, and we will start the show right after this.
Spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat. The human drama of athletic competition. This is ABC's Wide World of Sport.
Pleasant Sunday evening, everybody. It is now time for the Scott Manning YouTube Sports Weekend wrap-up show for the Scott Manning Sunday YouTube Sports Machine. I want to thank all my loyal viewers for being with me here tonight. We have a lot to talk about. In the game that you just saw tonight, the Buffalo Bills beat the Green Bay Packers tonight 27-17. This game was a wild one. So much chirping, so much of just yapping garbage, it wasn't even funny. But when it was all said and done, Josh Allen, 13 of 25, 218 yards, two touchdowns, but he did get picked off twice. Stephon Diggs, his favorite target, 6 catches, 108 yards, and a touchdown. Greg Rousseau, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. Tim Settle, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss for him tonight. Aaron Rodgers, he was 19 of 30, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was picked off once. Aaron Jones, 20 carries, 143 yards. He had a great night tonight. Romeo Davis, 4 catches, 62 yards, and a touchdown. And Eric Wilson, he did have a sack and a tackle for loss tonight. Green Bay's Quay Walker was ejected from the game for shoving practice squad tight end coach Zach Davidson. That came in the first half. He was ejected from the game for shoving a coach. Cannot do that here in the NFL. I'm sorry. Wide receiver Christian Watson, he came back from a hamstring injury only to suffer a concussion in the first quarter. The Packers cannot catch a break. I don't know what's going on in Green Bay. Well, I know what happened tonight. But what the heck is the deal with the Packers? They're only 3-5 on the season. Everybody had them winning the NFC North. Surprisingly, the Minnesota Vikings, of all the teams I did not expect, they're the ones running away with the NFC North. They beat the Arizona Cardinals in a close one today. I'm sorry, but I got a little excited there. It does happen to me once in a while. The Packers are going in the wrong direction. Aaron Rodgers can't save the team all the time, people. The Packers are now 3-5 after 8 weeks of the season. If somebody would have told me that the Green Bay Packers would be 3-5 at this point, I would have said, not on your life, but, and I think everybody's shocked. And tomorrow's Halloween. There was a Buffalo Bills fan there dressed as a cheese grater. And that kid, I gotta tell you, that kid was cute. That was pretty cute, wearing a cheese grater as a costume. But seriously, though, the Packers, they're 4 back in the loss column. They're struggling in the league right now. They're 3-5. You got the Minnesota Vikings running away with the NFC North. Of all the teams, I still can't believe it. I still can't believe I'm saying this. The Minnesota Vikings are running away with the NFC North. Ay, 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 ay. And that's all I have to say at this point. Bills, a great win. But there was more NFL action today. The New England Patriots, the last place Patriots, got a big win today for Bill Belichick. And I'll address that in a minute. They beat the New York Jets today 22-17. For New England, Mac Jones, 24-35, 194 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Jacoby Myers, 9 catches, 60 yards, and a touchdown. Lawrence Guy, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. Josh Uche, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. And Nick Folk, he was 5 of 5 on field goals today. Excuse me. Somebody needs to give him some love. I know I am. For the New York Jets, Zach Wilson, 20 of 41, 355 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was picked off 3 times. Garrett Wilson, 6 catches, 115 yards. Tyler Conklin, 6 catches, 79 yards, 2 touchdowns. But the Jets defense as a whole, listen to this, 6 sacks, 13 tackles for loss. And you still find a way to lose? What in the world happened today? The Patriots only had 19 first downs, 288 yards total offense. But they did outrush the Jets 127-51. But those 3 costly turnovers really hurt the Jets today. But the last place Patriots in the AFC East got a huge win today and gave a huge nod to Bill Belichick. He passes George Halas for second all time in career wins as a head coach. He's got his 325th win today. Who's left in front of him? The legendary Don Shula. 347 career wins for the man who led the 72 Dolphins to that undefeated season. It's been 50 years since the team has gone the whole season undefeated. That's just unbelievable. There we go. Now I'm back to normal. If anyone told me at this point of the season that the New England Patriots would be last in the AFC East, I would have said, nuh-uh. The Jets have gotten off to a good start. They suffered a setback today. However, Bill Belichick passing George Halas for second all time is a real gift. And a great one at that. And the truth is, if the Patriots can keep this up, they can make some noise down the road going into the playoffs. Did they get back into the playoffs despite everything that's happened early this season? I think so. And that's just all there is to it. That's the truth of the matter. And I'm going to say it again. It's not too early to be thinking about the postseason. We're almost halfway through the season. That's just all there is to it. Now, let's talk about the Tennessee Titans and the Houston Texans today. The Titans won this game 17-10, despite not having Ryan Tannehill available due to an injured right foot. But Tennessee got it done. Malik Willis, 6 of 10 for 55 yards and an interception. That's all he did today. That's all he needed to do. Derrick Henry, 32 carries, 219 yards, 2 touchdowns by himself. And Jeffrey Simmons, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss today. And as for the Houston Texans, David Mills, 17 of 29, 152 yards, a touchdown and interception. Dameon Pierce, 3 catches, 16 yards, and a touchdown. That was it. That was the Texans' only touchdown of the game. And Jerry Hughes, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. The Houston Texans only have 1 win on the season. They're dead last in the AFC South. Listen to this. The Houston Texans, 10 first downs, 161 yards total offense for the game. The Titans outrushed the Texans 314-43. Most of that was because of Derrick Henry having 219 yards on the ground and doing all the damage. The Titans won despite committing 2 turnovers that the Texans won. Ryan Tannehill will be back. He better be. Because if Tannehill's not back by next week, the Titans will be in trouble because they play the Kansas City Chiefs next Sunday night. I have not forgotten about that. The Titans play the Chiefs next Sunday night, and you better be ready. You better be ready. And you better be ready, Ryan Tannehill, because if we have to have a performance like this, Malik Willis, he's going to struggle against the Chiefs' defense. And Derrick Henry had the game of his life. If it comes down to it, he may have to repeat this performance again against Kansas City. Now keep in mind, the Chiefs are coming off of a loss to the Buffalo Bills 2 weeks ago. The Chiefs will be back, and they're going to be playing on a Sunday night. And the truth is this. Great win for the Titans. They're going to win the AFC South. They're the only team above 500 in that division. No surprise there. How about a great game in Indianapolis today? The Washington Commodores versus the Indianapolis Colts. The Commodores got a 17-16 win today, and you better thank Taylor Heinicke. He was 23 of 31, 279 yards, a touchdown, 1 interception. He ran the ball 6 times for 29 yards and ran it for a score. Antonio Gibson, 7 catches, 58 yards, and a touchdown in the game. And Darren Payne, 1 sack, 1 huge tackle for loss in the ball game today. For the Indianapolis Colts, Sam Ehlinger, 17 to 23, 201 yards. That was it for him. Neon Hines, 5 carries, 20 yards, and a touchdown. And DeForest Buckner, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. Heinicke threw it to Gibson in the 4th quarter late. That is how the Commodores won it today. This was a great game all the way around. The Colts dominated, and then they gave it away. That is exactly what happened today. Indianapolis, 15 first downs, 324 yards total offense. But they did outrush the Commodores 135 to 96. That's just something to think about. trying to keep my throat cleared. But anyway. This was a great win for the Commodores. Starting off 1-4, they've won 4 in a row. They're up to 5-4. They could be a factor in the NFC East. They could be a factor. Now, it's a 150-1 long shot. Yes, I grant you. It will be a 150-1 long shot for the Commodores to win the NFC East. It's there. It's a long way to go. And we're halfway through the season. Could the early struggles hurt the Commodores at the end? We're going to have to wait and see. And that says all there is to it. But a great game in Indianapolis today. The Colts came out on the losing end, unfortunately. All right. Enough of the NFL business for now. We need to talk some Major League Baseball. We are 2 games into the World Series already. The feeling out process may be over. But I've gotten some reactions from the first 2 games of this series. I watched game 1 on Friday night. The Phillies came back to beat the Astros 6-5 in 10 innings. Kyle Tucker, he had 2 home runs in the game. Nick Castellanos with the game-saving catch in the bottom of the 9th to take it to the 10th, to take it to 10 innings. And JT Realmuto hitting a game-winning home run in the top of the 10th. That was huge. Justin Verlander, I'm going to say this. Verlander, when it comes to pitching in the World Series, you suck. You are bad. And every time I would see him on the field in the World Series, I'm thinking, oh no, not again. Verlander's ERA is now at 9. He had a 6.30 ERA going into game 1. It shot up to 9. The Astros had a 5-0 lead at one point, and they come back to win it 6-5. in the opening game. That was Friday night. Saturday night, it was not pretty for the Phillies. Zach Wheeler pitched 5 1/3, gave up 4 earned runs, walked 3, struck out 3. He got the loss. Alex Bregman hit a 2-run home run and had 2 RBIs in the game. And Farmer Valdez, he got the win. 6 1/3 innings, had 4 hits, gave up an earned run, walked 3, and he struck out 9. He had a dominating performance in that game. There we go. Now, we go into Game 3 on Monday night. Here are the Game 3 starters. For the Houston, and then now keep in mind, the series moves to Philly for the next 3. For Game 3, your Game 3 starter is going to be Lance McCullers. He had a 4-2 record with a 2.27 ERA and 50 strikeouts during the regular season. And in the postseason so far, he's got a 2.45 ERA and 13 strikeouts to his credit. He doesn't have a win or anything so far. For the Philadelphia Phillies, the Phillies will be sending Noah Syndergaard to the mound. He had a 10-10 record during the regular season with a 3.94 ERA and 95 strikeouts. So far in this postseason, he hasn't pitched much. He's got a 1.69 ERA and 4 strikeouts to his credit. This has been an interesting World Series so far. Everybody was thinking Houston's going to sweep Philly, no problem. Surprise, the Phillies come out of nowhere and win Game 1. They had to come from behind. Now, with the series moving to Philadelphia and the series moving to the city of brotherly love, what will happen in the next 3 games? You know what I would like to see happen in the next 3 games? At least in one of the next 3. I would like to see the Phillies and the Astros sport their 1980 uniforms. The last time these two teams met in the postseason. It was a different era back then because both teams were in the National League at that time. But just to see those two teams wear the 1980 uniforms, that would be cool. I would like to see that happen. Whether that happens or not, we'll have to wait and see. But Game 3, tomorrow night, on a Monday night, on Halloween, it's going to be trick or treat for somebody. Someone's going to get the treat, and someone's going to get the trick. And may I say, I hope the Astros I hope the Astros do feel the agony of defeat. And that's all I have to say about that at this moment. But I wanted to bring you up to date as we get ready for the resumption of the World Series tomorrow night on a Monday night. Now, let's talk college football. Did any of you guys see that crazy game between Ohio State and Penn State on Saturday? Ohio State had to come from behind and get the win. A 44-31 victory over Penn State. Number 2 Ohio State beat number 13 Penn State 44-31. C.J. Stroud, 26 of 33, 354 yards and a touchdown. Travion Henderson, 16 carries, 75 yards, 2 touchdowns. Marvin Harrison Jr., 10 catches, 185 yards. But the real hero of this game, and I'm going to give him a lot of love, is JT Tuiamumalu. If I mispronounce your name, I apologize in advance. He had 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery. And he had a knockdown that led to an interception. This guy was a total beast on Saturday. He is the reason why the Buckeyes won this game. Just the 2 sacks and 3 tackles for loss was plenty. 2 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, and he had a pick 6 in the ball game. And that's all there was to it. As for Penn State, Sam Clifford, 32 of 47. Sean Clifford, my apologies. 32 of 47, 371 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Katron Allen, 12 carries, 76 yards, and a touchdown. He also had 2 catches for 13 yards, and he had a touchdown catch. Parker Washington, 11 catches, 179 yards, and a touchdown in the game. But back to JT Tuilamomalu. Could this sophomore sensation become the newest weapon for Ohio State's defense? They should give him a starting spot because he earned it. And that's all there was to it. Penn State turned the ball over 4 times. Ohio State didn't have a single turnover. The Buckeyes won this despite being held to under 100 yards for the second week in a row. A huge win for Ohio State. The new college football playoff rankings will be released on Tuesday. And we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But in the AP poll, Ohio State is now tied with Tennessee. That could be important going into next weekend. And I'm going to address next weekend on Friday. So you'll have to stay tuned. I'm not going to do it tonight. But as far as Penn State goes, they're out of the Big Ten race. They're out of the race for the Big Ten championship. They're hoping to get a 10-win season and maybe get a good bowl game. That's all that Penn State's going to hope for right now. 2 bad losses to Michigan and Ohio State really killed their chances. And that's all I can say about Penn State right now. We had a huge upset in the ACC, everybody. Notre Dame upset Syracuse, number 16 Syracuse, 41-24 on Saturday afternoon. Notre Dame won this game, and it was a great win for the Fighting Irish. Drew Pine, he was only 9 of 19 for 116 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Why did he only have those numbers? Because Audric Easttime had 20 carries for 123 yards, and he ran for 2 scores. And Logan Diggs, 20 carries, 85 yards, and a touchdown of his own. Give him some love. Isaiah Foskey, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss in the ball game. Got to give him some love. And Jordan Botello, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss in the game on Saturday. Give him some love. As for Syracuse, Carlos Del Rio Wilson, 11 of 22, 190 yards, 1 touchdown, and an interception. I'll address the Garrett Schrader situation in a second. Sean Tucker, 16 carries, 60 yards, and a touchdown. Oronde Gadsden II, 4 catches, 78 yards, and a touchdown of his own. And DeMarcus Adams, 2 catches, 43 yards, and a touchdown. But talk about Notre Dame for just a second. On the very first play of the game, the very, very first play, Brandon Joseph had a 29-yard pick-6 touchdown that literally set the tone for the game on Saturday. The very first play of the game. Hard to believe. And Garrett Schrader, I'm talking about the Schrader issue, he left the game with an undisclosed injury. Notre Dame won despite being penalized 7 times for 60 yards. Syracuse, 16 first downs, 286 yards total offense. Notre Dame outrushed Syracuse 246-61 on Saturday. That's all you can say about what happened. This is Syracuse's second straight loss, and this could have hurt them big time in the ACC race. Who does Notre Dame have coming up? Clemson at home in South Bend. Notre Dame is playing better now, but they got Clemson coming into town. Some people have this game on upset watch. Whether that happens or not, we'll have to wait and see. Well, this is a huge win for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish after getting off to a slow start. And that's all I can say about that. And what a victory. Normally, this would be the part of the show where I would let you guys know about the new changes in the AP Top 25 poll. I'm not going to do that tonight because the college football playoff poll is being released. The very first one is being released on Tuesday night. We're going to have to wait and see what happens there. But here's the deal. I look for some shuffling somewhere. Where will Ohio State wind up? We don't know. Where will Tennessee and Georgia wind up? We don't know. What about Alabama, Michigan, Clemson? That remains to be seen. I'll tell you what. Wait till Tuesday night and we'll see what happens. That's just all there is to it. The NASCAR Cup Series today. Let's talk some NASCAR. The NASCAR Cup Series today was at Martinsville. Christopher Bell got himself into the championship four today with a big win. He led 150 laps today. Kyle Larson came home second. He had led 68 laps. Ryan Blaney was third. Ross Chastain was fourth. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what Ross Chastain did today here in just a second. Denny Hamlin finished fifth, led the most laps with 203. Joey Logano was sixth. William Byron seventh. Bubba Wallace eighth, back from his one-race suspension, which should have been for the rest of the season, by the way. Chase Briscoe was ninth. He led 25 laps. And Chase Elliott finished 10th. He led 54 laps. Next Sunday, we go to Phoenix for the championship, for the final race of the season. The championship four. Joey Logano, Christopher Bell, Ross Chastain, and Chase Elliott will be going for the championship. This is what Ross Chastain did today. On the final lap of the race at Martinsville, he pulled a video game move. He pulled a move that you only see in the video games. Chastain went way to the high side going into turn 3, slapped the wall, stepped on the gas, and beat Denny Hamlin to the line by a foot. Hamlin got knocked out of the playoffs. Ross Chastain is in. Chastain is into the championship four. Now, Joey Logano and Chase Elliott have won the championship before. Could Christopher Bell or Ross Chastain come? Two newcomers. Two guys that I would not expect to be there. They're going to be going for the championship. The final race at Phoenix next Sunday. We'll wait and see how it turns out. But I promise you this. May the best man win. And that's all I have to say about that tonight. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for my closing thoughts. We have a crazy week coming up. Games 3, 4, and 5 of the Fall Classic are going to be going on in Philadelphia. Tomorrow night on Monday Night Football, the Cleveland Browns face the Cincinnati Bengals in the Battle of Ohio, in a game that the Browns must win to keep their hopes alive for a playoff berth. We have a slew of games in the NBA coming up this week. You'll have to check your local listings for that. The first college football playoff poll is going to be released on Tuesday. Georgia faces Tennessee this coming Saturday, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that on Friday night. However, I will say this. Georgia's got a little more something to play for. The memory of Vince Dooley, who lost his life this past Friday night. This week coming up is going to be a crazy one. It's a miracle I'm going to last. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to be back here on Friday morning to get you ready for the weekend like I always do. Whether the World Series ends on Wednesday night or we go to a Game 6 on Friday, you'll know how it's going to turn out. And that's just all there is to it. A crazy week coming up. There's not going to be a moment of relaxation for this big guy. And that's the way it always has been, and that's the way it's always going to be. And that's the truth of the matter on this night. Okay, folks, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. I want to thank you guys so much for being with me here on this Sunday night. Please go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. My name is Scott Manning. All you have to do is type my name, scroll down, look for this pretty face, click subscribe, and you will see all of the sports shows I have done so far. I want to thank you guys so much for being with me here on this Sunday night. You guys have a great night. Thank you so much for being with me, and God bless. Good night, everybody, and I thank you.